Welcome back to Show Me Horticulture. I'm your host, Tiffany McCoy, and this is the podcast where Missouri soil, real gardens, and the people who tend them come to life. Today we're going back to basics, and I mean that literally. We're going underground because before the first seed goes into the ground, before the first transplant, before the first harvest, it all starts with soil. I've been starting seeds indoors here at the farm already this season, and I have to tell you, there is something genuinely magical about watching a tiny seed crack open and reach for the light. It never gets old. But I have also learned, sometimes the hard way, that no matter how good your seeds are, if your soil isn't just right, you're already fighting an uphill battle. So today we're doing both. First, we're digging into Missouri soil, what it is, why it matters, and how to work with it instead of against it. Then we're talking seed starting. When, how, and the simple things that make the difference between a struggling seedling and a thriving plant. Let's get into it. So with Missouri soil, what are we working with? If you're gardening anywhere in Missouri, you already know. This state does not make it easy on you. Depending on where you are, you might be dealing with heavy clay in the central part of the state that holds water like a sponge and bakes into something resembling concrete in a drought. Or you might be up in the Ozarks fighting thin, rocky, acidic soil where roots have to work twice as hard to find a foothold. Northeast Missouri, where our farm is, tends to run clay heavy with good organic potential if you're willing to build it. That clay can actually be an asset. It holds nutrients and moisture better than sandy soils, but it compacts easily, drains slowly, and can suffocate the roots if we don't manage it. So the first thing I want you to understand is your soil has a personality, and the better you know it, the better you can work with it. So the soil test is the most underused tool in gardening. Here's the thing most beginning gardeners skip, and I get it, I did do it first, the soil test. A basic soil test tells you your pH, your nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium levels, and your organic matter content. That's it, and it costs next to nothing through your local MU extension office. Why does it matter? Because pH is the master dial. If your soil pH is off, too acidic or too alkaline, your plants literally cannot absorb the nutrients that are already in your soil. You could be adding the best fertilizer in the world and it just sits there, unavailable. Like money locked in a safe you don't have the combination to. Most vegetables want a pH between 6.0 and 7.0. Missouri soils often run slightly acidic, especially in areas with heavy rainfall. Adding lime brings it up. Sulfur brings it down. But you won't know what you need until you do a test. So a little tip, MU Extension soil testing kits are available at your local county extension office, usually under $20. They're well worth it before every new growing season. And so to build your better soil, there are 3 things that matter most. So you've got your soil test results. Now what? Here are the 3 things that will move the needle most on any Missouri garden. Number 1, organic matter. This is the great equalizer. Compost, aged manure, leaf litter, organic matter improves every soil type. It loosens clay. It gives sandy soil something to hold on to. It feeds the microbial life that makes nutrients available to your plants. If you only do one thing for your soil this year, add compost. Number 2, stop tilling so much. I know this one sounds counterintuitive, but every time we till deeply, we disrupt the soil structure and the fungal networks that plants depend on. Minimal disturbance, top dressing with compost using a broad fork instead of a rototiller, keeps those underground ecosystems intact. And number 3, mulch. Always mulch. A good layer of straw, wood chips, or even shredded leaves on top of your soil does 3 things at once. It retains moisture, it regulates soil temperature, and as it breaks down, it feeds the soil. I mean, everything on the farm, it has cut my watering time significantly, but just by adding soil, nutrients, compost, and then also adding soil on top of and around my plants that I have as mulch. It's helped my roses, it's helped my bulbs that I just planted to help with the cold. I mean, come on. And number 3, organic matter, minimal tillage, and mulch. Get those 3 right, and your soil will do most of the heavy lifting for you. And part 2 of our section is about seeds. Start your seeds. Why start your seeds indoors? Alright, now that we've got the foundation covered, let's talk seeds. I started seeds indoors this season, and I want to tell you, even having done this before, there's still a moment when those first time little shoots push through the soil and you just feel something. It's hard to describe. It's like relief and wonder at the same time. Kind of like having a baby again, you know? Starting seeds indoors gives you a head start on the season, especially important here in Missouri where our last frost date in the Northeast is typically around April 15th. Crops like peppers and tomatoes need 8 to 10 weeks of indoor growing time before they're ready to even go outside. If you wait until the soil warms to start them, you've already lost a month or two of the growing season. It also gives you access to varieties you'll never find at a garden center. When you start from seed, you can grow any of hundreds of heirloom varieties, specialty peppers, rare tomatoes, things that have stories and flavors you just can't get from a flat of generic plants. And what you actually need. Here's the good news. You don't need a fancy greenhouse or expensive equipment to start seeds successfully. Here's what actually matters. Your seed starting mix, not potting soil. This is a big one. Seed starting mix is finer, lighter, and drains better than potting mix. It gives those tiny, delicate roots the best possible environment to get established. Potting soil is often too dense and can harbor pathogens that harm seedlings. Containers with drainage holes. Whether it's commercial cell trays, repurposed yogurt cups, or newspaper pots, drainage is non-negotiable. Seeds will rot in standing water. Your light. In a lot of it. This is where most indoor seed starting goes wrong. A south-facing window is rarely enough, especially in February and March when daylight hours are still short. And that's when you gotta start your pepper seedlings and your tomato seedlings sometimes. A simple grow light on a timer, 14 to 16 hours a day, will help keep the seedlings compact and strong instead of leggy and weak. And warmth. Most seeds germinate best at 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Peppers especially love bottom heat. A seedling heat mat under your trays can cut your germination time nearly in half. A little quick tip. Keep your grow lights just 2 to 3 inches above the tops of your seedlings and raise them as the plants grow higher. Too far away makes the plants too leggy and the too weak plants reaching for more light. Sowing and caring for the seedlings. All right, you've got your supplies. Here's the process, how the actual process goes. Fill your containers with most seed starting mix. It should feel like a wrung out sponge, not dripping wet, not bone dry. Plant your seeds at the depth recommended on the packet. A good roll of phloem is 2 to 3 times the diameter of the seed itself. Cover the seed loosely, keep warm and moist, and then just wait. Peppers can take anywhere from 7 to 21 days to germinate. Tomatoes are usually faster, 5 to 10 days. Patience here is everything. Once your seedlings emerge, they need light immediately. Don't leave them sitting in a dim window hoping for the best. Get those lights on them right away. Water from the bottom when you can. Set your trays in a shallow dish of water and let the soil absorb what it needs. This keeps the surface from getting waterlogged. Excuse me. This keeps the surface from getting waterlogged, which can cause damping off, a fungal issue that kills seedlings right at the soil line. When your seedlings have their second set of true leaves, not the first little seed leaves, but the second set that look like miniature versions of the actual plant, it's time to pot up into a slightly larger container. This gives those roots room to grow without getting bound up. Hardening off. Don't skip this step. I want to end this section with one of the most important and most skipped steps in the whole seed starting process, hardening off. Your seedlings have been growing in a cozy, controlled environment. No wind, no direct sun, no temperature swings. If you take those plants directly outside into the garden, the shock can set them back by weeks. I've seen it happen. Leaves curl, plants swell, growth stalls, I lose plants. And you start all over again. Hardening off is simply the process of gradually introducing your seedlings to outdoor conditions over 7 to 14 days. Hardening off is simply the process of gradually introducing your seedlings to outdoor conditions over 7 to 14 days. Start with an hour or two in a shady, protected spot. Increase the time and sun exposure a little each day. Bring them in at night if temperatures are still dipping below 55 degrees. By the end of the 2 weeks, your plants will be tough, adapted, and ready to thrive in the garden. That patience pays off every single time. So that's the foundation, literally and figuratively. Soil that's alive, tested, and fed. And seeds started at the right time, in the right mix, under the right light. These aren't complicated things. They're the fundamentals that make everything else possible. Here at the farm, I'm already watching the season take shape. Seedlings on the trays, soil warming up, plants coming together. And I hope wherever you are, you're feeling that same pull toward the garden. Next episode, we're getting into one of my favorite topics this season, growing your own peppers from seed all the way to homemade hot sauce or salsa. It goes hand to hand with everything we talked about today, so stay close. If you're enjoying Show Me Horticulture, the best thing you can do is leave a review on Spotify or YouTube. It helps Missouri gardeners find the show. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Show Me Horticulture for farm updates, market previews, and all the growing season content. I'm Tiffany McCoy. This is Show Me Horticulture. We're rooted in Missouri, branching out everywhere. Happy growing!